Hi, I'm Charles Curtis Tucker.
And I am Maggie Lou Tucker.
We are Tucker Educational Services, and we are happy to help with whatever you need in testing and evaluations, anything you need for educational services, even private public school students, but mostly homeschool students. This video I wanted to put on just to redo our video on requirements. They're very simple, and we have a tendency to really expound a lot on subjects. So we're going to try to keep this really short, and these are actually the legal requirements in the state of Florida for homeschooling, and there's only really four requirements to home educate your student. Let me say first of all, home education, private education, and public education. You have to choose one. Your child has to be registered with a school. And those are your three choices. You've got to do it, or Family and Children's Services will come to your house and say, why aren't your children registered with a school? So, homeschool, private school, or public school, they're all legitimate, they're all legal. Choose one. We know that home education is the best for most, not all, but most families and most students. So, here are the requirements to home educate your child in the state of Florida. These are the requirements. First,
send a letter of intent to the county to notify them that you have started a homeschool at your home. In the letter, you just say, this is to notify you that I have started a homeschool in my home, and then you put the names of the children who will be in your homeschool, your children, with their dates of birth, and then the address of your home, and your name. You sign it, you send it, and it's done. We suggest sending it via email to the county office, because then you really don't even have to put it in the mail and wonder if they've got it or not, and whether they're going to send you a reply via email or not. Just email it to them and request a reply. And as soon as they reply to you, that's your confirmation that you have done your legal duty in notifying the county.
By law, they have to accept the letter of intent to home educate.
Yeah, they can't reject it. They can't give you a song and dance and say, oh, we can't accept it. No, there's just no provision in the law for that. They must accept it.
Whether you do it in person at the county office or whether you email it. We suggest emailing it so you have it all in writing and you get a reply, get a response. Any response that they received the letter of intent to home educate, which, as you said, is the child's name, full name, date of birth, and mailing address, and the parent, the guardian's name, and contact information for the guardian. It can be just a phone number. But those are the things required in the letter of intent, and that's it. No grade level.
No grade level.
No
social security numbers.
Yeah. So those are the things required for the letter of intent to home educate, and that's the first step, and they are registered. Get a response, make sure they've got it, they have to accept it, and any response that they got it is it.
You just said that 3 times.
The second requirement
is to keep a portfolio of your child's work. The word portfolio sounds a little intimidating or fancy or something like that, but really the word portfolio just means a collection of something. In this case, it's going to be a collection of your child's work that they do during each 12-month period after you send your letter of intent.
Look at our video on portfolios.
Yes, we have a whole video on portfolios.
We probably have a couple of them by now. But that's the second requirement. Keep a portfolio. In the law, it says the samples of work that you keep will also include a log of activities and a reading list. Okay?
Let's talk about the log of activities. A log of activities is really simple. It doesn't have to be anything complex. It's a log, which means you just write down what you did, past tense. So you don't have to do it before you do any of these activities. You can if you want to, but you might end up erasing some things because you didn't get to it, or you're going to have to switch it to a different date because you didn't get to it and you have to do it tomorrow or the next day. The best thing to do is just to do it after the fact, because nobody's going to come knocking on your door saying, where's your log of activities? What did you do today? What are you doing tomorrow? Because if you write it down for tomorrow, it's not a log, it's a plan. So this is a log of activities, which means you write it down as you do it.
It's not a lesson plan, in other words. And the list of...
But you can make lesson plans if you want. I'm not saying you can't.
Absolutely. But that's not what it requires you to do.
It's...
So the log of activities and the reading list is as you go along. And it does not have to be... The major point that I want to make on that is it doesn't have to be seen by an evaluator.
Right.
An evaluator, this has been made abundantly clear to me by the personnel, the legal department at the State Department of Education in Tallahassee, Independent Education and Parental Choice Office. An evaluator does not have to see the log of activities and the reading list. It does not necessarily show progress. An evaluator has to see work samples that show progress. But the three components of the portfolio, which is not scary and not fancy, doesn't have to be. It can be videos, photographs, documentation of all kinds. It's
Worksheets.
A portfolio of your child's work, and the evaluator only has to see enough of it to determine progress, which does not mean the reading list or the log of activities. So the third requirement after letter of intent to home educate, keep a portfolio, then you have on the annual date of the letter of intent to home educate, on that annual date every 12 months, I'm sorry.
On the anniversary.
Anniversary date.
Start it over. On the anniversary.
I'm not going to cut anything out of this. And the annual date or the anniversary date, every 12 months after the letter of intent, after, not on the letter of intent, 12 months later, you have to have an evaluation done by a Florida State certified teacher of your choice. You choose the teacher and you choose the method. Most of us do a portfolio review, which is simply look at some of the work, enough of it, that you can say, that this Florida certified teacher can say, this student is progressing, they're allowed to continue home education, sign here. That's it.
That's pretty
much
it.
And the only other requirement after the letter of intent, keep a portfolio, annual evaluation, is the letter of termination. When they graduate with flying colors and they've started their business and they've already, gotten 4 years of college done by the time they're 16 and all of that stuff, you send a letter of intent to the county and say, we are not home educating this student anymore.
They graduated. Woohoo!
Hallelujah.
We're throwing
Done.
a party. And that's it. Thanks for watching.
Four requirements, and that's them. That's it. That's it. Let us know anything that you want to know about. Please do not worry or stress. All of that is enabling you to do a better job and do more activities and just a really good job at teaching your children, because you are so concerned and involved in teaching your children all you can. This is a good thing. And thank goodness in Florida we have very few requirements that gives you the freedom. Really, it just gives you, it is really total freedom to do whatever you want. You can choose whatever curriculum, you can choose whatever schedule, grade level is not required, none of that. You have the total freedom to do everything. Those are the only 4 requirements, Everything else is completely up to you. And this is fantastic. I'm so happy that you have decided to home educate. This is a good thing. You don't have to worry. You don't have to stress. We can help each other and do a really fantastic job at this.